the final day. We've got grand final, but before that, we have our third place decider, which we'll be bringing to you right now. And the two teams, of course, are... Well, we're on the wrong screen.
Well, we don't have the graphic up. You'll get in there eventually. Don't worry, guys. But yeah, like you were saying before, we have two teams here playing for third place, playing for that 2,000 euros here. We'll have on the blue side, SK Gaming Prime. Up on the purple side, or red side, depends on how you want to look at it. It will be BPI Phoenix here. And Alex, both these two teams had some interesting paths here, where SKP beat Dark Passage and, a fairly convincing win 2-0, but then lost to Aces High yesterday, which I did not expect because SKP have been such a dominating team. And then, of course, we had over on the other side for BPI Phoenix, they beat Hard Random, but then yesterday they lost against HWA. And I actually want you to go into those games a little bit if you can quickly while we do bring up the picks, because those were really interesting games.
They were really interesting, actually, because the fact that BPI Phoenix kind of, I don't know, I feel like they floundered a little bit in their game. And
I completely agree with you.
Yeah, and so in my opinion, the SK Prime team probably going off the back of, they had one very convincing win in their game against Aces High, where in the first game they went straight up and they had a bit more confidence. BPI Phoenix, on the other hand, HWA versus BPI, it felt very, very HWA-sided.
I mean, you were casting that yesterday with Demon, and I was looking over the results from that one, and I was really curious to find that Lael was the only one to really do anything in their games, where he had he went 8-6 on Syndra in the first game. He had 8 out of their 10 kills total, though. And then in the second game, he went 3-0 LeBlanc and he had 3 of their 5 kills. But either way, we have a lot of picks, a lot of bands coming in here. And why don't you walk us through what you're seeing so far?
Okay, so first of all, of course, we're playing catch-up right now, guys.
Yeah, we are. We apologize.
We're going to have to roll on through. But the band champions, Lissandra, Draven, LeBlanc, take it away from SK. And the Draven band we'll have to talk about a lot because that's confusing me. And going over to this other side of things, Narzed, Aurelia. Now, those slightly more understandable. It intrigues me that they've taken Zed away from Senkux, which we saw twice in his previous game in the semi-final. And it was kind of a bit hit and miss. It was very split-push orientated. It did secure one win, and then it was actually the downfall, really, of SK in their third and final game. So they took that away. Obviously, BPI had a bit of a game plan. And another thing worth highlighting is that they didn't ban away Syndra. They chose to take Draven as opposed to Syndra away from Lael. And we all know that Lael is... I mean, it's such a high priority pick for him. He's basically, every time it's been available, he's picked it.
Just as I mentioned, he went 8-6 on Syndra, and he had 8 of their 10 kills up in their first game yesterday. But as you can see, a lot of other picks coming in. We'll kind of just skim over them. We have Janna, Lee Sin, we have Callista on the side of SKP. On the side of BPI, we have Graves, Jarvan, Syndra, and Malkai. I'm just going to talk about the champions really quickly as we can. The Lee Sin, kind of understandable for Taiki. Like to be really mobile, like to be really aggressive. We saw a couple of Sejuani's yesterday, which was really interesting to see. The Callista, it's been very hit or miss for us lately. Over the course of this entire week, we've seen a couple of them. It's been really cool to see some really nice dodges, some attacks we kind of built up. But we'll see how it's going to work in lane. You mentioned the Draven ban. I'm assuming doesn't want to go up against a Draven in the lane. Riddix has proven to be a very strong AD carry in their games getting here in the round of 32. He went 15-2 on Graves and then 8-1 on Tristana. So you definitely want to make sure to worry about him a little bit. But I think it's going to come down to a battle of the mid laners.
I think you're right.
I think that's just the overall thing we should be looking for here, because Leo, again, he was able to step up for their team previously yesterday. Senkux, who in their quarterfinal games just had some amazing Xerath plays, that great prediction shot onto it was the man from Dark Passage. Naru, thank you. Great prediction shots from Xerath onto Azir. And I think it's going to be a big battle there between the mid laners. If Senkux really steps up, then Leo's going to have a hard time. But again, also the AD carries, Crazy Caps. He really struggled. He's going to be playing Callista this time. He struggled really bad yesterday, was really unable to net any kills, and it was just basically the mid laners carrying the teams.
It really wasn't. You talk about the mid laners. Senkux yesterday, 9-1-4 on Ahri. He went huge, obviously picking Zed 2 of the 3 in that other game. In the second game, he actually went for Ahri, and he was instrumental in their victory just by being, he got ahead early. That's all you need to do on Ahri. He did, and he was picking up kills all over the map as well as just the mid lane. And you're right, as well, elsewhere in the bot lane, we actually see Masterwork securing Annie as his support pick. And so for that one, we saw it banned away from BPI yesterday. Obviously, someone did their research.
It's OGN.
It is, of course.
Or LCK.
That's where we got the severe kind of picks coming in from as well, and now we're seeing the Annie.
That's where the Annies are really coming out now, and you have to kind of worry about that all-in, the stuns, the damage that she can do. The raw damage is pretty crazy. If you catch a Callista too, because you can kind of predict where she's going to go with her leap. then it's, I mean, when she starts the auto attack, you can hit her right there and kind of stun her and lock her down. It's going to be a really kill-heavy oriented lane with the Graves. If you're expecting to burst down someone, Janna, a very likely possibility in that one, even Kalista. It's going to be really cool to see how the kind of combo works because they have a Jarvan with the Cataclysm. They have a Maokai with AoE as well. They have Syndra who can do AoE damage with a couple of her abilities. And not to mention her potential burst coming out of her. They're looking to catch someone and kill someone. And you look on the side of SKP, they don't really have a tank. They have Lee Sin, yes, he's their tank. But who else is going to be the one to be able to stand there and take the damage that's going to be coming their way? There's so much burst potential out of BPI. I'm actually worried by SK's picks.
Yep, I understand your concern, and you're right. I mean, they don't have a front line whatsoever, and then you look over at BPI, and they've just got that big hunk of Maokai that they know they can put in that front line and keep that back line safe. And you're right. It also feels like there's a whole lot of lockup on the side of BPI in terms of their composition. That Annie stun's so huge in team fights. Just dropping a Tibbers correctly can, I mean, turn the tide of a fight.
Well, they've got just
the Cataclysm on top of that.
Kind of, put that, or to elaborate on that, you have 2 stuns with Syndra and Annie, and you have the knockout of Jarvan. Like, you're not really going to go anywhere if
I just have this horrible
hit.
image. You know, I mean, we like to piece together one-bow combos. That seems to be something we do quite a lot. And every time we see a Jarvan, obviously highly contested jungler at the moment, you see the Cataclysm into an Annie stun, into a Graves ultimate, into Syndra stun. You've just got this lockup, which is eternal. I mean, I can just see how horrible that could go for SK Prime. But then you turn it on its head and you look at the way SK Prime are going to be playing, and they're not going to be fighting for the team fight. They have Ahri. They have the Kassadin. They're looking for picks. They're looking for kind of picking apart the enemy team, getting ahead, and playing it that way.
They're hoping for a pick. Whether or not it's going to come is going to be a little bit different story. It's going to be really tough, and they're going to need to really make something happen early on if they want to have a chance here. If BPI get going, they get a kill on a Leo, if they get a kill on a Riddix or Masterwork, things are really going to become difficult for them. And it all depends on Crimson. How well is he going to gank these lanes? How well can he read Taiki and stop him from, counter jungling or picking up his own ganks?
And as we say, I was about to jump us into game, but we have actually seen a pause in game, so we won't be throwing you into that just yet.
You know what we can do, though? Since we have this little break, since we had to rush through the picks and bans.
Can we rewind?
We might be able to rewind really quickly and talk about what's going to be coming up throughout the entire day. It's not just one best of 3 today. We're going to have a best of 3 third place match, easy to say, and a best of 5 finals to see who wins the 5,000 euros. That's a lot of money to spend.
It is, yeah. So 10,000 euro prize pot can be chopped up into slices for first, second, and third. And of course, what you're seeing on your screens very shortly, at the moment you're just looking at our faces. I was about to say
very shortly
you'll be seeing, of course, that third place decider. It's going to be a best of 3, and you've got 2 very strong teams who've had differing results. SK Prime, I think it's safe to say after their result against Dark Passage, definitely the best team in Turkey. 2-0, looking very convincing. They were firm favourites, especially between me and Lee. We were talking about it earlier and we're saying SK Prime should be in that final. And so the fact that they're not is a statement in itself. And it's going to be really interesting to see. They are a relatively new lineup, new players. You've really highlighted Zaitan, really the only kind of recognised name, house name.
Well, he's the only one to actually carry over from the previous roster.
Yeah, exactly. And so this team, it's quite literally going from the results. It has been hit and miss. Knocking out Dark Passage in 2, then proceeding to go down in a 2-1.
It shows they have moments of genius. Suncook's has amazing plays he's able to pull off, but then they also have, blunders a little bit. And it kind of shows they're still roughing up the edges on the team, trying to make sure everything's really working well together. And hopefully for their sake, do a little bit better in the Challenger Series coming up, and not to mention maybe qualify for the LCS.
Yeah, and so finally we're out the pause, guys. We'll throw you straight on into game as we see where this game takes us.
All right, so kicking off our first match of the best of 3 of the League of Legends Turkey International Invitational. It will be SK Gaming Prime on the blue side, BPI Phoenix on the red. And let's go to the lineups for you guys at home who might not be too familiar with these teams. On Kassadin, we've got Beansu in the top lane. On Lee Sin, we got Taiki in the jungle. On Ahri, we have Sencux in the mid lane. And in that bottom lane for SKP to round things up, we have Crazy Caps on Kalista and Zaitan on Janna.
Should be a pretty pick-up-focused composition. And on the other side of things, BPI, Nasus in that top lane. We've seen him, obviously not on Nasus, but we've seen Maokai, Lissandra. They seem to be his 2 favorite picks, and he's got one of them. BPI Crimson, of course, in that jungle. And Leal in the mid lane, getting his favorite pick. Getting the Syndra. Wasn't banned away from him this time. 100% ban rate prior to the semis. Now Rittix and Masterwork in that bot lane. Graves and Annie, respectively. And we haven't seen the Annie before. We've seen it banned away once, but this is going to be the first time we see the power that Masterwork has on that support.
Yeah, we will definitely find out here. And as you're already seen off the bat here, Crazy Caps and Zaitan going to be going for the Krugs. In the meantime, Beansu even trying to invade on Nasus. He knows he's trying to go for these Raptors here because that's the way Maokai is going to start off when he takes Sapling Toss. And they're both going to try to contest it here. And Beansu's able to pick it up. He's going to deny that early level 2 out of Nasus. And now when he teleports to lane, he is going to be in a rough position.
Yeah, fantastic performance from Beansu. Straight off the bat, he knew he wasn't going to be expecting Maokai in the lane. It stops that recall and TP return. And actually, you can see he used two charges of his flask, so that's actually a huge advantage going straight into that lane in the top side. And hello, Senkuk's flashing straight away. The stun from Leo evaded, and I don't know whether he was expecting a gank early or something, but either way, that's a big summoner down, and I don't know if that was a mistake. I'm sure Senkux may have to pay the price for that one, because of course now Crimson, with that knock-up alongside a Syndra stun, his lane is now vulnerable for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to start a game here, and especially for a man that we highlighted as one of the people to watch in this game, the man to really step up for him and carry that middle lane, or at least be able to keep Lil behind, who's just had such phenomenal results yesterday, even though they did lose in that 2-0 against HWA. But either way, check out this bottom lane. I think this is also a lane we really need to focus on. Crazy Caps having a really rough couple of games yesterday, and Riddick's on the side, who's shown moments of brilliance, who was just unable to really match up to his prior results. And you know, if Riddick's and Masterwork can get that synergy going, get some kills bottom, this could be a very strong game for them.
Yeah, it really could. The lockup potential from Annie and just combine that with the kind of burst potential of Graves is a pretty scary combination. It's been given to BPI in this game. We'll see if they can really make it their own. As continuing in that bottom, you can see the CS pretty level. Not the same story actually in the mid lane. Senkuk's fallen behind already. Leo at the forefront, managed to push Senkuk's wave a little into the turret. Maybe he's forcing a couple of missed CS there, and turning our attention to the junglers, of course. Looks like Takey has been doing good. Clear. I think he's got double buffs. He's got his double buffs, goes straight for the scuttle, and now maybe he's going to make an appearance in that mid lane.
He might be going for it. He knows that Crimson's probably going to be coming around for Senkuk's son. As you can see, going forward, it looks like a little bit of an invade. Might be going for a bot lane gank here, trying to get that bottom lane rolling, and they're going straight forward. They're committing to it here, and now Masterwork trying to get the stun on the Crazy Caps. He will hit it, but will be flashed away from, it seems, and they will be able to back away off of this.
Yeah, and Leo just meeting it back up with Senkuk's in the mid lane, saying, LOL, JK. To continue farming away, try and maintain that CS lead that he does have. And of course, that summoner lead, I still feel like Senkuk's has not had to pay a particularly heavy price for using his flash so early. In the meantime, though, of course, in that top lane, all is pretty standard. We've seen this matchup actually a considerable amount of times already just in this 7-day period. And it seems to be it's the same story every single time. Kassadin farming along pretty evenly. Sometimes actually we saw WTC going incredibly ahead on CS, but he was of course playing that in the mid lane. But in this top lane matchup up against a Maokai, you expect to see it pretty even. And Kassadin roaming, and a successful Kassadin will roam, pick up kills early, and then once he has the damage, be able to push the Maokai out of lane.
He's going to really need to be able to do something in terms of roaming around, just the fact of, you know, Maokai's, I mean, you mentioned Kassadin, you know, he's going to be able to farm pretty easy up here, but so is Maokai in that respect. And that means he's going to have his Rod of Ages done. He's going to get pretty tanky pretty damn quickly. And when that happens, you know, you compare both sides. There's 2 tanks versus 1 with 3 big burst damage dealers. And, you know, SK, if they're going to be able to pick up the kills, they have to be really quick. But Senkuk's getting ganked in middle, finally getting punished here. And he will be taken out for first one. In the meantime, bottom lane a fight breaking out as well. But Taiki able to secure a kill on a Masterwork.
Yeah, not bad. And all said and done, as Takey did make an appearance in that bottom, we actually missed out on that mid lane gank, and wouldn't mind seeing that one back again.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was nothing special.
Okay.
It was just a knock up, stun, dead.
Hey, Crimson.
Pretty standard.
Crimson's got some good moves.
Hey,
He's in a good position. Takey doesn't have vision, and actually, as he walks between the turrets, he knows he is safe, and Crimson backing away from that one. In the meantime, actually, we see Nasus not opting to TP. In fact, he is. He's teleporting down towards that bot lane. Rittik's going low. He wants to try and secure that kill. Heal is used. Zaitan going solo, though. 1 bullet will secure that one. As now Crazy Caps in an equally sticky situation, trying to back him away, but the flash is there to secure it. That's the double kill. And they're looking to make a move straight for Drake. They know their top lane is kind of TP'd down. They want to make the most of this one, and I don't think really SK are in a position to contest this one. That's a 6-minute Drake.
Yeah, it is, and that was a great gank coming in from them, taking advantage. I mean, Riddick's, he kind of baited them in by himself. Masterwork, actually not Masterwork, sorry, Nasus and Crimson are able to come around in time to help him out and to stop that gank from happening. They catch out too. They pick up a 3-1 kill lead. Now it's about 7 minutes in. They get the Dragon, and BPI looking a lot stronger today, looking a lot better than we've seen previously.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if part and parcel of that is the comfort pick for their mid lane. Alil has been, I mean, a little shaky on some other picks. We've seen him on an Orianna, which has been pretty lackluster previously, and so giving him Syndra may have been the first step towards failure from SK Prime, but so very early on, and so many games ahead of them, of course. Best of 3.
I feel like the Draven ban was just a little odd.
Oh, it's
I mean, you could have banned Syndra instead and made it so Sencooks had, relatively easier lane. And that's what you want to have happen. You want Sencooks to get fed because he's proven before that he can carry games himself.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that one. I mean, you've got a very strong mid laner who can probably handle his own against, Lille. I don't know, no credit to, also no disrespect to Lille, but of the 2 mid laners from what we've seen in the past, Sencooks probably a little stronger. And that bot lane, however, Ritik's a real threat. I will never forget that Graves scoreline, 15-2, I believe, on that Graves, and he single-handedly put his team on his back in that game. Ooh, looks like Sencooks going aggressive.
Oh, he's looking for the gank. The charm comes in, the kick lands as well, and they're going to go for it. Taiki has ultimate up, and there he goes. Picks up the kill. Didn't have to commit his ultimate, and that will get a little bit of a flow going here now. Taiki 2-0.
Yeah, man, that is real patience from him. You can see he just connected the Q, waited for the ignite damage to tick away, so he had that guaranteed finisher under the turret. And
I think it was more of he doesn't want to get stunned or knocked back right when he goes in.
So he was just basically waiting for
because right when the knockback came in from Leo, he went in. But it also could have been Sencooks, like maybe Sencooks can get it. Maybe we can give him the kill and get him going. Yeah. But he secures it. That's all that matters here, Alex.
That is all that matters. And talking of all that matters, look at that already. Morenomcom picked up fights for Syndra in that mid lane. Does have a slight gold lead. I say slight, 450 gold in favor of him. I suppose the CS lead, as well as that kill now, is all it takes for him to get that item lead. And that could be the start of something. Zaitan and Crazy Caps. These exchanges seem pretty level, in my opinion, this bot lane.
Well, the thing is, like, Zaitan can mitigate a lot of the damage with the shield that Masterwork does. And I mean, the big upside to having an Annie is the fact that you have that really long auto attack range. But if he's shielded up in time, you mitigate a lot of it, and you can return quite a bit over onto Masterwork. But it looks like Leo might be coming down towards his bottom lane, though he would be spotted up by a ward. He's sitting over towards Dragon Pit.
Yeah, I think he's
can he pick the Scuttle Crab up? And like drag it into a lane?
Throw it into a lane? I don't know.
Or like throw it over Dragon Wall?
This is what we need to know. These are the questions we need answered. I'm sure Twitch chat will let us know. In the meantime, though, Blue Buff is going to be going over to Leo, giving him that advantage in lane. Actually, no, it seems to be exactly the same story as Taiki gives it over to Sencooks. So mid laners, neither having the Blue Buff advantage, but hello, what's going on here? Takei's making a move for Nasus. Nasus' recall is going to be cancelled. Kicks him straight on into the wall. He wants this Maokai's life, and I think he's going to get it. Binsu doing as much damage as he possibly can, but look at that Maokai regen. Secures it with the Rift Walk, and SK Prime level out the kills now 3-3.
And it's so funny is that, Taiki, he has 100% kill participation, but so does Crimson on that Jarvan, and yet it feels like Taiki's doing a lot more. I feel like, Crimson could have punished Sencooks in the mid lane a little bit more, but now his flash is up, and now he's kind of struggling to keep up with the mobility that Taiki does have.
Yeah, and Lee Sin early, what do you expect? He's got the Warrior enchant as well. He's going damage. Sometimes you see the Sightstone for the mobility, but no, straight on with the Warrior. He wants to be doing that damage, 45 AD. And a bit of armor penetration in there as well. And so now, for this Lee Sin threat, where is Taiki going to be showing his face next? Of course, we've seen him on interesting picks from Taiki. We've seen him on Vi quite often. That's been, again, kind of hit and miss. I feel like I'm saying that a lot about Taiki. But yeah, again, the SK Prime lineup is quite literally hit and miss. We've seen some really good stuff from them and some pretty bad stuff.
And Zaitan actually almost getting taken down right there on the bottom lane. Masterwork with a nice stun came in. Riddick's actually missed his buckshot. The collateral damage hit, and Zaitan, you can see, on a sliver of HP. So a nice flash coming from him, able to dodge away from that one. But that just shows the dominance that BPI has here bottom. They have, a CS built up. This turret's going to be taking a lot of damage as well. And look at that. Both mid laners, Leo and Sencooks, just kind of reading each other, waiting for someone to just get out of position so they can pick up that lead. And, only Sencooks is behind in CS about 15. Yeah,
both these mid laners have the assassination potential. The charm lands, Leo's probably dead. The stun lands, Sencooks is probably dead. And so it's kind of a bit of a Mexican standoff. You can see that just neither of them really wants to be the one to make that move. And so, looks like Lille is actually, I say that, he is going to be the one to make the move, as is the BPI side. They take down that bottom turret. They're going to be trying to force a fight, perhaps, but Lille's on the way down. Dragon's going to be spawning in 50 seconds, and that may be the sign, that may be almost putting a timer on this next team fight.
It very well might be, and they already have a big CS lead middle. CS lead bottom. The top lane's the only lane they're really losing out on here so far, but there's even a fight breaking out here. As you can see, Beans are not really taking that much damage from Nisus, but with 30 seconds to go, with teleports up on both top laners, with a second dragon, which would be under the belt of BPI, SK, they need to contest it. Problem is, they don't really have too much vision around it just yet.
And Takey's just recalled. Takey knows he needs to be fully regen, fully bought. Needs to be the most efficient he can be for this next dragon fight. But just 20 seconds, he's going to have to get that back fast. In fact, no, I'd say that. He didn't actually end up recalling. Surely not going to go back now. That would be an error, and he is. Meantime, actually, I just missed out on a fight completely. I have to apologize. Senkux did roam to that top lane and did secure yet another kill on Nasus, and that's going to be leveling out to a 4v4 if they wanted to fight this one. Of course, Takey not really there to contest this dragon. They're starting off. BPI are there, but look at Leo lying in wait. He's setting the trap, and it doesn't look like SK Prime are going to contest this. And at 30 minutes in, BPI are going to have 2 dragons.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to contest that. I mean,
without the jungler, I mean, come on.
Well, if Senkux is going to go top lane like that and use his ultimate, they're trying to get a kill and have to give up dragon. Like, they had the general timer out. They knew generally when it was going to be coming up, especially with the way BPI was playing. But they give it up. They do get the kill lead. Masterwork might get caught out here as Lee Sin going in. Taiki looking for the kill.
Flashing away, but Takey does the same. He's going to secure it with the kick into the face of Annie. And now Leo forced to flash away. Doesn't want to risk it. And of course, actually, Takey doing a huge amount of damage, considerable amount of damage, followed up by Crazy Caps, of course, as well.
Well, he's also really high level, too. I mean, Taiki, he's level 8 compared to Crimson level 7. I mean, yeah, it's what, a 1 level difference? But levels mean everything when it comes to junglers, especially Lee Sin, who has so much damage added onto his Q, added onto his E, not to mention the shield off of his W. So he's starting to get some real good momentum going on. 3-0-1 for him. And he already has a Sightstone now done. He actually has, what, 4,500 gold total overall? He's almost tied with the top players of his team.
That just shows the power of farm and highlighting CS elsewhere on the board. Slight, just one of the biggest discrepancy. I was about to say slight discrepancy, but still 11 CS standing between those mid laners. But that's pretty much it. Look at the buys. You can see actually a full item ahead at this stage. There's a Sork Boots to a Marilla Nomicon and a large rod.
And look what Riddix is sitting on. Actually, we do see a fight breaking out. Crimson kind of getting caught out here in the top side of the river as a charm lands on a Crimson. The Q lands from Taiki, and Senkux secures that one. And I was just about to say, Riddix, he's sitting on 2,300 gold, and yet he hasn't even bought up just yet.
Oh, Masterwork, it may not be over just yet. The charm doesn't quite connect. The kick does, though, and look at that. The health pot taken away remains that scrap of health that he did have, and Masterwork getting away with a smile on his face.
Just saying cheers, mate.
Yeah, I'll take that. Just aiding my escape. And that is something that sometimes you see in the Lee Sin, just not quite doing his calculations correct. Needed a Vel'Koz, Professor Vel'Koz there to help him with his math.
Professor Vel'Koz. I would love to see that skin.
There you go.
Because you have Headmaster Fiora as well.
Yeah, you can start building a whole school. Schoolgirl Annie. And now, Leo.
I'm sorry, your face when you said that.
Leo, gonna be taking that blue buff. And I mean, he needs it. Look at his mana pool. Senkux is actually, he's gone back and completed. I said he was an item behind, and now suddenly with the DFG, I feel like Ahri is more of a threat. Leo, of course, does have that assassination potential just by being Syndra. But I feel like he wouldn't want a one-on-one Senkux at this stage. Once that ultimate's up, once he has those 3 dashes, he can evade the stuns and make life a living hell for Leo in that mid lane.
Well, either way, he's still going to be behind that Nisolar draw, like you're mentioning. He's actually only down about 100 gold, funny enough. And, you know, keep in mind, guys, we are on Tournament Realms. This is on 4.21 patch. This is not on 5.2, is it called? Or 5.1? 5.1? But either way, Nades again getting ganked on the top side. Crimson trying to come in, trying to help out for Beansu, who gets the Rift off, but doesn't get far enough away here. And as Senkux might get caught out here. You see the flash coming in. He's trying to get some sort of damage in down. And Crimson will pick up a double kill.
Crimson is doing fantastic work on Jarvan. It's been banned away from him in previous games. And, may not be over just yet. Zaitan making an appearance, wants to slow them down, waiting for the arrival of Taiki. And here he comes. It's all about connecting the Q. He gets it. Picks up the kill. Masterwork. Dash away from this one, doesn't have the stun up, and in the meantime, turret pushing, magic is being executed by Lille. Pick up that one, that's going to extend the Goldie. Now 2-1 in turrets. BPI, Phoenix have the advantage in turrets, but they don't have the advantage in gold. Of course, those extra 3 kills on the side of SK Prime level out the gold, and so these teams pretty evenly matched at that 17-minute mark.
I am getting a little bit worried, though, because of the 2 mid laners. Lille, 150 CS. to 112 on Suncooks. And
it's getting bigger and bigger.
It's only about 200 gold lead because of the kills, but that's just crazy caps. Going down potentially middle as actually he got very low, almost got bursted down. But it just kind of shows that Suncooks has been focused on roaming around and punishing these other lanes, preventing Nazis from getting really tanky. And Masterwork getting caught out a little bit, I guess, as you can say. Taiki trying to go back in.
Masterwork just got kicked into the whirlwind, and now Ritix is in pursuit. He wants to take Taiki with him, and he does just that. Takes him down. Beansu punishes him for that overextension, and Nass is now to keep Annie safe and sound for... And I mean, this feels like a rinse and repeat every single time Masterwork watches someone die and gets away.
I understand what Taiki was doing right there. He was trying to chase down Masterworks because he knew Ridix was going to die, but he didn't expect Ridix to just keep hammering away at him and eventually finishing him off. So I would say a little bit of a misplay. It would have been a 1-for-0 instead of a 1-for-1 if he just turned around and killed Ridix. But either way, again, congratulations, or great job by Ridix to make something out of nothing right there. And meantime, SK going for push on this middle turret. Should be able to secure this one here in just a few seconds. And almost even things up at turrets, but they're still pretty damn close in gold, as you were saying before. It's all tied up now.
Look at the damage. Sengoku's halving Leal's health bar with one charm and orb combination. Now, SK Gaming going to be hanging out in this mid lane. They may want to continue to push for more. At this stage, I don't know who the team fight would favor.
I would say BPI. Like SK, they're hoping to get a charm.
Just eliminate
and then
someone
kill that person,
because
they have 3 damage dealers. On the other side, you have 2, because Annie doesn't really count right now, just with the fact that she's not really building any ability power so far. But they're hoping to burst someone down. Look at that. They catch up Maokai, gets him down half HP, forces the flash, and that's how quickly they can do damage here. Just a couple more auto attacks, and that would have been a done deal.
Yeah, they're looking for the dragon. They don't want that third one. This is really kind of do or die for SK Prime. If we were to reach that 20-minute mark and 3 dragons, 3/5 of the way to that dangerous 5 stacks.
But SK, they have the Scuttle Crab, though. They have the vision. They have the speed up. They have the teleport coming from Beansu from the backside. And they will force them away out this dragon. Not sure if they're going to go for the fight just off of this, but Leo getting very low here. Taiki could go in!
He tries to, kicks Masterwork as well into Leal's face. 2 very low health bars on BPI already, though. Taiki has gone down. Crimson looking to meet a similar fate, though, as Crazy Caps wails onto him. And now, meantime, in the mid lane, we are going to see Ritix taken out of the fight, as is Crazy Caps picking up a double. He's looking for more, but Sengoku's going relatively low. Nasus doesn't have the damage, though. It's a triple, and Kalista bouncing around that fight picks up the kill. It's a quadra as SK Prime pick up a team ace and another dragon. Well, the first dragon.
We were just pointing out that Crazy Caps really didn't do much yesterday. He was so quiet, but it seems like he woke up today getting the quadrant there with that Infinity Edge as his only item. I'm sure that's not going to be it, though, when he goes back. But that kick coming from Taiki, he almost eliminated Masterwork and Leo by himself, just immediately gave them advantage. It made it so Masterwork couldn't ult in the fight. It made it so he couldn't be a stun bot onto some key targets, and it allowed Sengoku's Beansu and Crazy Caps to just do full damage without even being distracted.
Yeah, Taiki's initiation there was such a man mode. He was like, he connected the Q, Lee Syndrome engaged, and he just closed the gap by actually safeguarding onto one of his teammates to secure that one. And so, as that's all said and done, suddenly the gold not so level, 34,000 to just 31 of BPI Phoenix, and that's with an extra turret. So once the I was about to kill them SK Gaming, SK Prime do make a move in that mid lane, and the goldie will get even bigger. And now Crazy Caps, of course, is going to have a whole chunk of gold with that quadra. A man who was sat on 0-1-1, now 4-1-1 with 2,200 gold to spend.
Yeah, he's going to be caught up to Ridix in just a few seconds. And he does go back and buy up. But you can see Ridix, he's trying to go towards his Yomus. Crazy Caps, I'm assuming, will be going for some attack speed, like a Static Shiv or a Phantom Dance or something like that. And Suncooks again with that DFG, proving how much damage he can really do. But Leo just got a big power spike off that. He has his Robodons now done. That makes things really sketchy when it comes to
He had it for that last
fights.
team fight. He had that.
He just got eliminated in the beginning. He wasn't able to combo anything and get his AoE stuns down. Again, we highlighted that BPI, they want to be stunning and chain CCing and locking people down, and yet when Masterwork gets kicked out, when Leo gets kicked out, they can't do the combo they need, and then Crimson's like, well, guys, I need you here to stay alive, and he just falls as quick as he can.
Yeah, it can be a real issue for them. And if you can't keep your assassin up, then you can't be doing much assassination. And now Ritix and Masterwork returning to their kind of battle-scarred bot lane. You can see still bottom turret still standing for BPI, as opposed to the SK Prime turret, which has been pushed down. And actually, I think they've made progress on the other one. No, I tell a lie. They're just a bit cautious to overextend, of course. That presence of Senkux just means there's a potential for an Ahri in any lane so very quickly. And I feel like Senkux has been pretty quiet, actually, as we reach the mid-game.
Yeah, he was more active when he was ganking Nasus quite a bit.
Yeah.
Top sides, you see Nasus 0 and 4. But he's still got a lot of damage behind him. You still can't underestimate it all. But he's, level 12. He's kind of falling behind in levels just because of how much he has been roaming around. But one key thing we need to point out now is Beansu. Look what he's got built up. Rod of Ages, Zhonya's done. He's got his core items finished. And he can afford to hop into a fight, take a lot of damage. Zhonya's then rip swap back out. And especially it comes down to, you could CC him long enough to kill him. But with the Rod of Ages, it's going to be very, very difficult. And if you fail it, then there goes your whole combo.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yes, you can probably lock down the Kassadin, but then that's a huge investment of resources. Then there's Lee Sin, Ahri, and Kalista to continue to worry about. So I think actually this composition from SK Prime, we were critical of it in team fights. We didn't think it would work out so well in team fights, but
it shouldn't still.
It shouldn't, of course. No, BPI Phoenix did get caught out in the previous team ace, but I feel like if SK Prime continue down this path of a free farming Kassadin and a Nari who needs to kind of admittedly get back into the game, but she's 4-2-3. She's got the gold. In fact, I'm pretty sure she's got more gold. Yeah, she does. 8,300 to 8,100. So still leading in gold. Senkux in that mid lane. He needs to start perhaps with a roam. And as I say that, you can see Senkux has done some shopping, picked up that Zhonya's Hourglass, and that just gives it even more safety in these team fights.
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't matter what kind of composition you have if you're this far ahead now.
Oh, dearie me. Taking following Crimson over the wall in the EQ combo. He wants to kick him back, and he does. And all of a sudden, this could go horribly wrong. We see an exchange 1-for-1 as Kalista does manage to take Crimson out of the fight, but it cost Takey his life, and that was a gorgeous little follow-through over the wall. Unfortunately, there was a team waiting on the other side, and now that one settles 155, and I do completely miss a Graves getting eliminated by two mobile AP mages.
It was mostly all Senkux there. He was able to just ult in, DFG, even Zhonya's the cloud damage and the buckshot to mitigate quite a bit. And that's just what Ahri should be able to do. That's what Ahri and Kassadin should be able to do with that double AP comp. They both have the Zhonya, so they can afford to go for things like that. And things starting to get really out of hand here. SKP building up quite a big lead, 41.3 thousand to 37.3 thousand gold. Remember, guys, this is our third place matchup. It's a best of 3. And then coming up after that, it will be a best of 5 for our grand finals between Aces High and HWA. HWA actually surprised me quite a bit getting there.
Oh, but the performance that they did to get there, they really did deserve it. It's going to be great to see how they perform going into this next into the grand finals. But we're not there quite yet. We need to see who is going to be securing that third place finish and the third place prize of 2,000 euros. It's not the 5 of first, but it's still something. And these teams, of course, using this as a bit of a stage as well, demonstrating their ability. BPI falling behind a little somewhat. See how they can claw back from this one. And when you're at this stage as a team, they really need to maybe consider playing for the objectives. Of course, when it's hard to play for the objectives, especially as it's kind of split-pushing Maokai, when you have a Beansu just constantly present in that top lane.
Yeah. I mean, SK, they're not looking for team fights. They're still looking for picks. They ideally should not be able to win team fights if things are used correctly, just because Crimson, Masterwork, and Leo are going to do too much CC to allow them to get the combos off if they want to. But as the game goes on, again, as the leads get further, Riddick's getting caught bottom side. This would be an easy kill yet again for Crazy Caps, but the further SKP get ahead, and now Beansu getting cut off. I'll get to my point eventually, but Beansu's going to try to rift walk away.
Oh, he's flashed it away, and so has Nasus. He wants to secure this one. Surely he's going to be able to close this gap, and I don't know why Crimson backed away from that one. Felt like the fight was already over. The flash tippers to secure it. And they wanted that. BPI were not going to let that Kassadin slip away.
It almost looked like he escaped it, but either way, he bought enough time for SKP to pick up this dragon. And SKP, even with that death, still coming out ahead. And like I'm trying to say, when fights keep breaking out, is that SKP, I mean, if they keep getting further and further ahead like this, then synergy and comps don't really matter for the side of BPI. Then they should be able to win these team fights because they're just so damn far ahead.
Yeah, we said that SK are going to be playing for safe objectives, and these are exactly what we were talking about. A dragon and an extra bottom tier 2 turret picked up as one for the cost of one Beansu death. I think that's a fantastic trade-off from SK Prime. And
Sunkux, he's going for the catch on the Leo.
Oh, and I can't watch it because I'm rubbish at observing. There we go. Senkuk's now actually in trouble. The TP is going to be coming down on top of this fight. Crazy Caps, of course, doing huge amounts of damage on that Kalista. They respond with a kill on towards Crimson, and Nasa's just sitting in that front line. There's no one there to back him up. He knows his death is inevitable as another kill comes on home for Crazy Caps. 8-1-1. 8 kills under his belt already. As now 3 deaths on the side of BPI. They're going to make a move for the inhib turret.
Yeah, so Senkuk's all he did was just get the charm on the layout and the full burst combo, and the rest of the team is able to follow up for the rest. And now they're going to push in. They're going to get an inhibitor on top of this. Riddick's trying to shove down mid lane as he was able to pick up a kill on a Zaitan. He might be able to get some damage onto the mid tier 2 turret, but not enough here to really punish him. And Senkuk's looking at him really quickly. He's actually waiting for someone. Oh, he was waiting for someone to leave base and to catch her with a charm combo yet again, but not going to be going for it. They're going to just back away. And SKP, they've opened up this game. The floodgates are now open on that bottom lane, and they are up about 7,000 gold.
7,000 gold in favor of the team with now a 5-6 Ahri and an 8-1-1. That's great kill distribution. In fact, I couldn't think of a better way to do it. Perhaps a couple more in the hands of Caston, but patience may pay off.
Catch another person again here.
Look, it's going to happen
second
again.
time.
Crazy Caps is there. It's like a rinse and repeat. Crimson forced to try and get away, but you can't get away from an Ahri, which has got her ultimate. Crimson smiting as a last-ditch attempt to survive, but he's gone, and Crazy Caps is legendary. 9 kills.
And Beansu pulled 3 people top lane, was able to escape from that one. Now SK, what are they going to do with the kill? And looks like they're just going to go back to base here, buy up a little bit more, as they have 2,800 gold to spend on Senkuk's, 2,700 on Crazy Caps. And this is SKP's game. There's no way they should be able to lose this unless they make some major mistakes.
We'll see which way the cookie crumbles at the moment. Takey, he's been so present early, starting to transform himself into that mid to late game Lee Sin that we expect to see, just a kicking machine, being able to tank just a little bit. He does of course have that locket. He's got that giant spell as well, including the Merc threat. So he's got his magic resist. Salt is going to be building towards health and perhaps even a bit of armor. Of course, the only real huge AD threat is of course Rittix on the side of BPI, with actually considerable amount of damage being able to put output by Crimson. I mean, he's Jarvan. What do you expect? He has, of course, just got that warrior enchant, but that's maybe enough. That's now.
He's just trying to get full tanky just to survive. Like Rittix, if he gets caught with the charm, he's dead. Like that's just the simple factor. He doesn't have a QSS or anything like that. He needs to keep ramping up his damage. That's the problem. He's torn between going defensive and going offensive. And when it comes to protection for him, there's really not a lot of protection. Her stuns are going to be going for engages or going for locking down the big damages on the side of SKP, and Crimson obviously not going to be protecting him. So he just kind of has to balance that out and really execute these fights well, but SKP are making it so damn hard for that.
Look at this. The Battle Vision, Scrying Orbs, Kalista Vision scans, everything they can for SK Prime to have the advantage, and they certainly do. Look at the blue wards all around this Baron pit. You can see BPI taking huge risks just to put a ward down. I think I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3 pink wards on the map for SK Prime, not 1, sorry, for BPI in the meantime. SK Prime, they have the advantage, then looking to benefit from it.
See, look, even with the lead they have now, they're not trying to force a team fight. They're trying to force like a Baron, force an objective, and force BPI out of position. Rittix was bottom lane, shoving the lane out to defending its Supermans for a majority of the time just now, and that just shows SKP respect the lineup that BPI have. They respect what they can do, and they're trying to play this one safe and play it to the way that they know how to finish off the game.
Patience looking to pay off here for SK, but nope, Malachi says no, throwing the sapling in just to secure vision. So BPI, they are rightfully playing this. I mean, to their credit, they're playing this as passive as they possibly can. They know that they cannot risk losing yet another team fight. That first team fight, the quadra kill for Crazy Caps, was the start of the snowball, and that snowball's getting bigger and bigger as we reach that 30-minute mark.
Now they spot out Rittix towards the bottom lane, trying to fit a Superman. Go straight for Baron because they can. Jarvan might be able to come check it as they do see the ward being placed down, but they clear up the vision really quickly. When it comes to executing the Baron or finishing it off, Lee Sin has a huge advantage. There should be no way he's going to miss this here, but we will see Jarvan try.
It really is. All Crimson can do is attempt to steal away. It doesn't have the vision, though, to secure it. You can see Beansu just using that Rift Walk to push him away at the last moment. Senkuk's actually the one to secure the Baron buff, but now SK Prime, they have the Baron buff, they have the additional damage they need, and Beansu and Senkuk's, they're in pursuit.
Oh, look at that. Hand of Baron buff, them holding hands as they push in, looking for Crimson. We got very low on health right there. Taiki get almost bursted down in the jungle in the meantime here, and now Naze is getting caught out with the charm top side, and it looks like they might be able to pick up a kill, but Beansu again pushed back yet again. Crazy Cap's not there to join the party just yet as he overextends just a little bit under turret. And either way, it's going to be a full disengage out of both teams.
Not bad as it's all said and done. And now 5 turrets, 56,000 gold to just 48. Yeah, echelons above them in gold and items. And so, we said it before, SK Gaming's game to lose, and surely not. Crazy Caps potentially trying to catch out Lille. You see he's sending out his scouting party. Not going to be able to spot out Lille as he recalls. And now Crazy Caps just going to go into split push mode.
That's really a ballsy thing to do when they don't really have much vision of where BPI is, and he can't afford to go down with those 9 kills under his belt. But they're going for the blue.
Ooh,
so they won't be able to steal it. And look, the flash tag comes in out of Masterwork.
They want Senkooks' blood, but look at that. Masterwork's already gone down, and he could... Oh, sorry.
The
Ari
kick!
could be in trouble, kicking him away. They're not interested in this one. Crimson flashing away. Nasus in trouble as well, and what started out as BPI wanting a fight, now they're paying a pretty heavy price. Another one bites the dust. 40 seconds for Nasus on that death timer, and they're still in pursuit. Beansu does have that rift walk, and straight away BPI realize, hang on, Crazy Caps is doing what he shouldn't.
That was like a 4-on-5 almost. And yet they were able to, I mean, they didn't get the blue buff. They still picked up the 2 kills. They're going to be able to pick up Dragon. Crazy Caps picking up the inhibitor turret top lane. You don't really see an AD carry split pushing, but he's making it work for him so far. And now SKP again, 11,000 lead almost at this point. The bomb inhibitor is being taken out by Beans. So in the meantime, they're still pushing middle as well. And this is becoming really hectic, really chaotic now for BPI.
Yeah, and they're just going to damage control mode. And SK Prime, whoa! Crazy Cap's health just disappears. Lille still has that destruction potential as a Syndra. He's got a good buy as well. Morello's Void and Rabadon's. You can't really get away from that one as an AD carry, especially when you're building what he has. Look at that. Static Shiv, Bloodthirster, and Infinity Edge. That's a whole lot of AD. Look at Beansu's positioning. He knows he's got the escape. I mean, you haven't got the escape from the Annie stun up or the lockup, but still, they have that Baron buff, and they're just going to keep pushing.
I think they're actually going to back away now, or maybe
say that.
Expecting someone BPI to push out because they have a lot of money to spend. 2,600 on the mid laner and the AD carry here for SKP, and there's no reason to not back and buy, but it looks like they want to keep this aggression on. It looks like they want to get this inhibitor down before they do that, and it looks like sure as hell they will.
Yeah, they're going to push forward. You saw Lille considering going up towards Crazy Caps. Nasus gets charmed up, and he's not quite going to take enough damage for them to consider going in on that. Takey, Zaitan, and Beansu at the front line. Senkook's just hanging out at the back.
Oh my god. Like, Riddick's crit one of the empowered minions for 220. That's like an auto attack from Crazy Caps. Like, that just shows how strong the Hand of Baron minions really are.
And look at this. Look at this. Crazy Caps has been split pushing for so long, and Leo, a Syndra, is unwilling to go one-on-one up against the AD carry. That's how you know you're a successful AD carry. 287 CS and 9 kills. He's got such a strong buy and such a strong build at this stage in the game. And they're looking to hang around. SK Prime, they're trying to make the most out of this advantage, and they don't want BPI to start building this one back.
Well, the thing is, Baron buff's gone. If I were them, I would have gone back to base now, buy up, let the bottom wave shove in, as we do see that getting caught out, almost getting bursted completely. He's going to get away.
Takey dashing out of that one. Beansu's in the thick of it, though. He does use his Zhonya's. Crazy Caps is going to be raining in terror. Throws in Zaitan into the fight. Crimson's going low. Rittik's probably going to be meeting a similar fate, though, as Takey still hasn't gone down. Senkook's in pursuit. Takes down Masterwork. He's looking for more as the Zhonya's is used. A double kill already for Crazy Caps. He wants a triple. He's not going to get it, as he does actually get snatched away. Now, Leo. Oh, he did actually get the kill. He had that brawl. And that's all starting to go horribly wrong for BPI.
SKP, it looks like they're not going to go for the finish just yet, though. I think they did have the possibility. They have minions pushing bottom and top, and yet looks like they're going to go for the third inhibitor. This is actually a surrender vote coming out, so it doesn't matter in the end. That's going to be BPI giving up the first game here. SKP picking that up, and they do get themselves now one map away from winning the 2,000 euros and claiming third place here in the League of